yesterday and the day before, I was just kind of configuring, trying to go through all the settings and configure everything. Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Hey, looks like someone's streaming.
So if I say watch now, and then I want to make sure the audio doesn't come through.
Yeah, I've got it up. I'm just muted.
I think it's muted. I don't hear it.
I hear you. You've got me coming through.
I think it's muted. Okay. There, I got it muted. Okay. It went muted by default. Can I break out the chat? That would be even better. Chat settings.
I'm going to have to close that. There we go. All right. This is interesting. What a journey, man. Like trying to figure out this Twitch stuff. Like I was telling low base guy Joshua yesterday that it's deceptively, Twitch is deceptively complex, because you would, at first glance, especially coming from a platform like YouTube, at first glance you would think, I'm just going to stream over there, or I'll record and upload to both of these platforms, or I'll stream to both simultaneously, be done with it. It's not that at all. It is Twitch is a completely different beast altogether, So, and I'm happy about that. Well, so this first one, I mean, this, sorry to interrupt you. This first one is, I purposely didn't promote it. I mean, we just sent out a link to the community, and because I wanted to test everything out. I mean, there's so many new components here. It's like shooting a wedding with a new camera, right? You want to practice
photography all over again. I swear to God, it's like I'm Googling, what terms mean and stuff, and try to set up, try to create my own animations and my own emotes, and then like, do I need to do that? Should I just use the basics? Or it's like, I don't want to be the guy that uses the basic ones.
Hey, that's funny you say that. I thought about that, because I thought about it from, because, again, I've been immersing myself in the world of Twitch over the last 4 days. And the thing that I'm coming to realize, and tell me what you think about this, thing that I'm coming to realize is, hey, Joshua, hey, little bass guy in there, and ginger bearding. One of the things
is ginger bearding. That's, let's see, I got too many things going on.
Hey, who has a ginger beard in the TWiP community? I wonder.
James Glenny.
Hey, but I've come to realize that, I've thought about that, and I signed up for the whole StreamYard Plus or Prime thing, just so I could get a look at their themes and everything, and see if there's anything there that resonates, because I want to go out pro and all glitzy and CNN, whatever looking. And then, it occurred to me that that's kind of like, it feels like a middle-aged guy dressing too young, it's like, dude, go dress, it felt like that. It didn't feel right. And then I saw a photographer streaming last night, and he was just like, he was using StreamYard as well, but he was like very clean, just screen sharing his edits and a box for his photo. Overlays were still popping up and all that, but it wasn't all the chrome on top and, animations and everything. So I think I feel like my style would be more, Apple Store, very minimalist and sleek and Scandinavian, and nothing's there unless it serves a purpose kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, right, low bass guy. I do wear my collar, and I wear bell bottoms from time to time. So what of it?
I don't own shirts with collars. Now, my wife owns shirts with collars for me, but I don't own shirts with collars. But you're totally right, Frederick. So I was going through all the overlays that you can buy and everything, and I thought, you know what? No, I don't want any of that. I want I want to have the alerts so that I can properly acknowledge people when they come in and know that they're there. That's really kind of the thing for me, is like, oh, hey, somebody followed or whatever. Like, great. I need to know that. Other than that, it's going to be me in the corner and a big screen of stuff.
I think that's the way forward, man. Honestly, I think that's the way forward, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy, no disrespect to the streamers that have all that stuff up there, and I enjoy looking at it, and I like to see my name pop up on screen. You know, all that stuff is very Twitch and awesome. But, you know, like I said, I don't want to be the guy that shows up dressed incorrectly, or that's playing to something that doesn't necessarily fit my personality, and you have that kind of, you know, I don't know. So anyway, I'm working on it.
You don't have your bots set up. I can post links of anything I want in your stream.
I do not have my bots set up. Where's the ban button? Oh, there it is, right there.
No, don't do that. No, look. So check out that article that I just posted. It talked about in Twitch. It was in The Verge. It was in Apple News, but it talked about Twitch viewership dip this month unless you're looking beyond games. So music and chat is on the rise, which is really cool. Hopefully photography, I didn't get to read the whole article, but hopefully photography is in there somewhere, which is really awesome to see the community that we've become excited about. It's becoming more accepting, and it's shifting to this kind of content. So
yeah, which it makes sense. It's just it's so refreshing. I don't know if I'm an addict or what, but I was like all day yesterday just like taking notes and popping into different people's streams and seeing how they do it. One of the main things I wanted to learn was what these streamers do so well is the art of informality. Right?
yeah. This is what we do before we go. Okay, and this is Frederick Van Johnson with This Week in Photo with yes, but
for hundreds of episodes. And now it's like normally it's like, okay, all right, you ready? All right, stop the nonsense. Let's get serious now. We have to record some serious content. Now, there's something liberating about that, just especially you and I have talked about it, especially this whole effort and this therapeutic move of mine trying to be more open and more accessible and more relatable versus trying to, be, the CNN anchor podcaster guy, which is hard. If you've done it literally for a decade, and thousands of episodes, it's not easy just to slide in and do it normal.
Right. Which, by the way, you can take our names off now. Like, remember we talked about that? We're not going to leave our giant name badges on the bottom.
Yeah, let me turn those off. Let me see if I can turn them off without destroying the stream.
So, ginger bearding, let us know what you think about the Twitch stream and how it's different than like watching it on YouTube or watching it later, because we're pretty sure, there's always going to be a portion of the community that's going to embrace the new change and something that's as dynamic as this. And then there's, a portion that's going to be like, no, I'm happy watching it on YouTube later because I don't have time to watch you guys live, and trying to find that balance in there to where, it makes everybody happy. So,
one thing, a lot of things, this is like when you travel to a foreign country, you have to go live there in order to really understand the personality of the place. And then you have to, engage with the populace and all that stuff. And that's what I'm doing now. And one of the things that popped out of those learnings was, in a YouTube world, it's like I said, for the most part, very polished, and intros and outros and all this other stuff going on in music. And, it's more of an attempt to replicate broadcast television in some cases. And the way you consume it is like that too. You watch it, you're watching a television show with a beginning and ending and maybe some commercials in there and, all that stuff. The Twitch side that I've learned as a user or a viewer or lurker of some streams is I put it on the Apple TV. I've got Apple TV right here next to me. I put Twitch on up there, like Joshua's up there working on some stuff, and he's just, working away, moving stuff. And it's just on while I'm writing emails over here doing other stuff. And I feel like I'm hanging out with Joshua. And if he says something interesting, I'll send a comment in there, and then, get back to work. And he's still over there. It's not like I have to be actively engaged in the audience. So.
Right. Moose Moose Eat 408. I don't know who that is. You have to introduce us if we know you because we don't know your avatar yet.
This is naming thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know that. Which what was wrong with using YouTube for streaming the critiques? I don't think there's anything wrong, right, Frederick? This is a expansion.
Yeah, that's a great question. For the most part, YouTube is fine for that stuff and has a broad reach, and it's a mature infrastructure, on and on and on and on. For me at least, the lure of Twitch is the community aspect, and like I said, the informality aspect of it, and being able to do a stream over here and just hang out. And like the streamers, like I've learned, are kind of treating it like a television show where they go on at a certain time every day, so their followers and fans expect them and look forward to them being on. But when they go on, it's not like, okay, in today's episode we're going to A, B, and C. It's more of, hey guys, all right, today I'm gonna work on this thing, and watch as I work on it. You know what I thought about, Troy? It's kind of like that Watch Me Work series that we were doing like a year ago. It's like an extended Watch Me Work series, which is, I like that.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, Moose 408, Moose at 408 says it took him 10 minutes, him or her, 10 minutes to be able to comment here. YouTube had no issue. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's different. And I'm still gonna post to YouTube. I don't think it's an either or proposition. I think you can stream here and then stream over on YouTube for other content, or record here or stream here and take the recording and upload it to YouTube. So
yeah. Joshua says share the stools analogy, the third stool. Remember how the chat?
Oh yeah. The chat is the third stool. Yeah. The analogy I drew was usually as a one-on-one interviewer, I'm on stage, with another person. There's two stools there, and then there's the audience, and they're not an annoyance because you're there for them, but you have to make sure you engage the audience every now and then go back to the real thing, which is the guest. Twitch, there's three stools on stage. There's the interviewer and the interviewee, which are kind of parody in this metaphor. We're just people talking. I'm not the interviewee and you're interviewer, and you're not the interviewee. Yeah. We're just chatting back and forth, but there's a third stool up there, and that's the chat room.
Right.
And that's the other thing you got to learn is that, right? The informality of bringing the chat in.
I need to learn how to break out the chat. There's got to be a way to break that chat out, because I want to see just the chat. I don't want to see us 10 minutes later in the Twitch stream. I need the chat, just the chat.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm looking at the chat here inside of StreamYard. So. Yeah.
I don't see it. See, I don't get the chat in StreamYard. Only you get that. I don't get it.
Oh, you know what? Maybe they changed that, because when you did yours, I'm pretty sure when you did yours with Craig and Riley, I think the chat was there. You just couldn't post to it. Or maybe no. I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking differently. The chat, when you're a guest, you can't see the chat. But you can't comment on the chat. You should be able to see the chat though, as a guest in the stream. You should be able to see it. You just can't make comments. Like I can comment. I can post a comment directly in there.
So I
see you. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know who it was said you can pop the chat out. So I did. You go down to the gear and you pop the chat out. The problem is if you do that midstream, you lose all your chat history. Just a little reminder.
But you're talking about you pop the chat out on Twitch itself. I'm talking about inside of StreamYard.
Yeah, no, I can't do it on StreamYard. No, I can't see anything. All right, that's cool. Interesting. Put that there.
I think StreamYard isn't bad. I think because of the limitations with overlays and all that kind of stuff, I would probably only use it for interviews. Maybe some other stuff, but the home base would be OBS, right? That's where you do your streams, and you're going to do like editing or whatever. That's OBS. The OBS setup would be for that. This would be for just knocking quick stuff out. Yeah. I think. And the fact that it's completely browser based is a huge plus.
Yeah, and a big shout out and a kudos to Joshua, a low bass guy. So if you guys are in here and you haven't gone and checked out his channel, go do that. He is really the reason that we're doing this right now. He's been trying to get Frederick and myself to do more stuff on Twitch for a long time. And if it wasn't for COVID, right, probably if it wasn't for like life slowing down, I wouldn't have looked at it as much. So
yeah, and not even that for me. I think Joshua did, like, to his credit. Thank you, Joshua, for trying to convince me early on, like a year plus ago, to start up a Discord and to jump into Twitch. And I didn't. I think because there was so much other stuff going on with sort of the migration of the community and doing a bunch of other things. I was like, okay, I'll get to it, eventually. But yeah, like you said, with this COVID thing and a bunch of other things, that kind of made sense to dive in. Is Kiki? Is that Kiki in there? Yeah. Who's Kiki? See, I don't know who's who. Yeah. I don't know who's who. Kiki, I guess it goes with streaming. Once you stream for a while and you have people, you'll start connecting names and all that. So
yeah. Well, and Joshua just asked if you have you don't have any alerts set up. So if you get any followers,
I don't have anything set up. Yeah. So
which is
okay. Hey, Eric Pronsky. Yeah, we can see you. Welcome, sir. So here's the thing. So the reason for this, for all intents and purposes, this stream should have been canceled. Because if you'll note, and I was telling you this before we started streaming. Yeah. So I've changed my entire office around for streaming, for the purpose of streaming, which wasn't easy because my desk furniture is really heavy and my back is not as capable as it used to be. So I did all that, and then inadvertently, through all that, breaking my entire setup down and rebuilding it, I screwed up one of my USB-C cables, and it happened to be the USB-C cable that connects the Mac Mini to the display. So I boot everything up, and display goes boop. Then it comes back. Boop. It goes back. And this is like before a meeting this morning. I'm like, holy hell, what the heck? So I go through the whole troubleshooting. My brain is going to crap. My graphics card in the Mac Mini is screwed. I'm gonna have to get another one. Oh, should I just go buy an iMac instead? That's where my brain is going of all this stuff. So I swapped out the cable. Everything came back up, and then this thing dies. I think it died. Maybe this needs a firmware update. This is the Blackmagic ATM Mini Pro, which is basically the webcam for what I'm using. So this thing decides it doesn't want to work right anymore. I don't know if I borked something. So I had to pull out my old one. I had an older ATM Mini, so I plugged that one in. And so that's been the comedy of errors. So for all intents and purposes, this thing should have been canceled, but I decided, no, I'm going to throw caution to the wind and not promote it because, maybe only one or two people show up anyway, and I'll get a feel for Twitch. And so anyhow, enough of my whining. Everything's working now.
Even if people don't come in here live, it's going to be recorded. They're going to go and watch all the antics later anyway. So the watch is totally collapsed, but it's doing good. StreamYard is holding up. It hasn't kicked me out yet. So
yeah. I'm looking forward to, like Josh said, yeah, I don't have any of my alerts or bots or anything set up yet. I'm building that in StreamYard or in OBS right now. But even that over the weekend has been an exercise in, what do I want my look to look like? I've downloaded like several different stream overlay packs and all this stuff, and everyone I download is like,
that's not it.
It's like, dogs playing poker, on Velvet. And I'm like, no, I can't.
I have come up with little headers for under the About Me on my page. There's fire. I can just tell you that my Twitch thing is all going to be branded with fire. I'm trying to find little explosions for when people follow or whatever. Yeah, I've already made emotes when I get there, and I can already use them. I've already made like faces that are on fire and flowers on fire.
But see, is that the way forward? See, maybe that's the way forward for you because you're like that heavy metal rock dude. Like I think of that. Remember that old animation heavy metal the look of that show. That's your look.
Nah, that's not quite my look. That's not quite
my look is more USS Enterprise, you know.
Okay, fair enough. Yours is like you. Oh, you're the Star Trek, right? You're a USS Enterprise. I'm Battlestar Galactica. All of the rough, riveted hulls, patchwork, like yes.
I have transporters. You don't.
Oh, Joshua, I love that graphic. Look at that little fire. That's so cool.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Kiki. Battlestar is one of the greatest TV shows ever made. Both of them, the old one and the new one. The coolest thing. I got to nerd out before I know we have to start the critique. We'll start that in a second. But the coolest thing for me about the Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, was the concept of the resurrection ship. You remember that? Did you see that, Troy? Have you seen the series?
Yes, of course. I watched that.
Okay, so that resurrection, the Cylons from the older one were just robots or whatever, and then the new one, they came back as, you know, advanced and more humanoid or all completely humanoid. But the idea that they had backup copies of themselves in a ship somewhere, that the instant they died, it would just transfer like a backblaze backup.
I know.
That was awesome.
That
was awesome. I want that.
Yeah. Who were the Cylons? Yeah. Everyone was a Cylon.
Yeah. I love it. I love sci-fi is the way forward. Sorry.
But you know what? It's funny. Joshua says, give me Serenity. Give me the Serenity any day. I actually like Serenity or Firefly graphics, and the stuff that I found was a bit too corny. So I've got to find a way to create some stuff that's like an homage to the Browncoats, just a little bit of an homage to them, with some fire on the side, right? Like there's got to be something I can throw in there. I don't know. I've got to.
Yeah. I'm afraid to see your stream, man. It's
me too. I don't know yet.
Well, I'm gonna start small. So my stream is gonna be very pedestrian to start. You know, I'm gonna get all the mechanics and all that stuff worked out of bots and emotes and all that stuff. But it's gonna be very minimalist and Scandinavian, you know, if you will. And then over time, I'll start adding on God, you know, if necessary. Like this is how my stream. Let me put it on me. Like right here, this is how my stream's gonna look. Kind of like nothingness.
Yeah,
you know?
We can put a photo back there. We can put a photo back there of something really cool, right? Like I've got all this stuff back here is me. Like who has an anvil, right? Like
nobody.
It's a real anvil. It's a sugar anvil. The thing weighs like 80 pounds. It's like terrible. I've got my pottery back there. I've got my metalwork over there. I built everything that you see in the scene. Like I got to build something. So
Kiki says, are you using a webcam or a different cam? I'm using a Lumix GH4 running into one of these things, one that works, Blackmagic ATEM Mini. Yeah, for right now, we'll see how that holds. That's the current state of configuration. And Ginger, the ginger beard in here, says he loves these lamps. You know what? You can have these lamps, man, because I don't love these lamps. These are, I want to say maybe Target, might be even IKEA lamps. But there's some cool Edison style desk lamps I saw at Target the other day. Have you seen these lamps? They look like those Edison bulbs with a base and a glowing tungsten filament inside, and the whole thing is like this big. So I'm getting those. So you'll see those back there. And I ordered red and black acoustic tiles for this wall behind me.
Okay, that might work.
Cool.
The lamp is. I need to build you a lamp. I need to build you a lamp. That's what I need.
I don't have like an aircraft carrier to sail down there to pick up something you built.
Like this, that's built out of rebar, right? That's what a real man uses for a mic stand, is a piece of this is actually 3/4 inch rebar.
Yeah, see, again, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek. Yeah, or Star Wars. See, if this was Star Wars, you'd be the Rebel Alliance and I'd be the Death Star, with all the kind of clean design, and you'd have the burnt up ships and duct tape and bubble gum.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good, that's another good analogy. All right.
Yeah, we'll take that one. All right. What do you say? We dive in and look at this critique, look at some of the images?
Yep. All right. Let's look at these. I already picked my favorite, by the way.
I haven't even. Normally, I go through these the night before. Literally till 3-ish a.m. last night, I was moving furniture and rewiring. But here we go.
Very, very impressed with the community because you and I always chat a little bit like, "Ooh, do you think anybody will do this one?" And it's unpredictable, like what's going to be really popular and what's going to work really well. Everybody did this one, and it's so bitchin'. There's so many good things.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought this would have been one of the ones that people would be like, film noir, I don't know. But no, they did it. They came through.
Applied nudity, right? Like I better double check.
Oh yeah, nudity. Let's just scan through it. Joshua says they're very draconian on Twitch regarding,
we're good.
Dark colored body parts. We can't have that in here. All right, let's start. Well, first one up is from Karen Sweeney. And Karen says, didn't plan on entering this week, but Humphrey here stepped into the light from the shadows and the deed was done. What's up, Humphrey? Let's bring Humphrey up.
I dig this. I think this has got to be some of Karen's best work that she's put in, for me. I mean, how much I love monochromatic and I love black and white. So I'm just immediately, everything gets an extra 10 points. But the way that light is falling on the breast of the bird and everything else is dark, I dig it. A little tight on the right, like the crop is a little tight, but that light.
Yeah. And it's I never expected to see a bird in a film noir critique, and this one absolutely works. Much like I never expected to see a lizard, low base guy, but they work. This absolutely works, and the expression on the bird because of the lighting, it's very like, there's only room on this branch for one bird here, buddy. Right. It's very cool. I like it.
I would try to get a little bit more light in around the eye. So a little dodging would probably help. Like bring that up. Yeah, that would really help a lot. Because right now, even though it's got this nice light spot on the bird, it would be wonderful that it brought the eye out a little bit.
Yeah, very nice shot though. Very nice. Feather noir. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. This is cool. See, this is cool doing critiques like this where, I mean, we started, Troy, remember we started off kind of doing critiques recorded and then, the experiment of doing the live stream critiques and then on YouTube and then now the live stream critiques with the third chair on stage. Yeah. So, I like this. So, I don't know. So it might mean I'm never one to shy away from change or making things better or improving. But this changes the whole nature of the critiques from, this self-contained thing with two guys in there to kind of a group activity, which is what Twitch is all about, I think. So
yeah, I love it. I absolutely love the fact that we have chat going, and I liked it when we had it even on YouTube. Right, is that I can actually, people in the chat can give me crap, and they can put in their feedback. Right. I love it. Yep.
Love it. All right. Thank you, Karen Sweeney. All right. Next shot up is from Mr. Michael Rhino. Michael says, my noir photo is this one from Saturday morning at Cottonwood Creek near Buena Vista, Colorado. Let's take a look. All right.
This is one of those shots I looked at right away and I had to kind of like figure out what it was. For me, the whole story is the top third, right? You could just the sun and then the outline of those trees could just probably crop the whole lower half of that image out for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because you get lost. Just in the whole middle here, I don't know if it's the StreamYard compression or what's going on, but I'm losing all detail in the middle here. And down here, I can see little hints of detail with what looks like water down there. But yeah, I'm getting lost in here. And I think so. You're the one that came up, Troy, with the topic of film noir. Does this fit into that, or does film noir necessarily need to have like a moody looking person or figure of a person in it?
You know what? I think it's a broad category. I mean, this technically could be a cut scene in a film noir movie, right? Like the mystery, the sun is setting or the sun is coming up, and then there's a body laying on the shore of the river. I could see that working. Just speaking to the image itself, I think to make the image stronger, we need to just crop in on the sun and the backlighting or the silhouette of the bushes. Other than that. Yeah, it's killer. Yeah, I love the fact that all these images are black and white. It's like my favorite critique ever.
Yeah. Does this have a border on it? See, this has a border. See the border around there? There is an actual border, but does it need to have a border because it's so dark?
It really doesn't. No, it really doesn't.
Or if it had a border, does it need to have a key line so you could see the edge? Maybe a key line if you're going to go in that direction.
I think a key line. You know me, I love me a key line. So
yeah, I had a conversation about that with Low Base Guy. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I'm not a fan of borders. We can talk about that. That's a whole show. I think we should do like a panel discussion on borders, to border or not to border. So photographers for a border-free country.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean it like that. No politics in here. All right. Cool shot, Michael Rhino. Thank you, sir. Next shot up, Mark Charette. What is going on here? Mark says, sorry, this doesn't qualify, but my sense of noir is a bit on the quirky side. I seriously can't watch horror films. I'm easily spooked. It's as close as I come up with. A lovely black alpaca on our trip to Tasmania. Maybe not quite the brief, but he is cute. Oh my God. I don't know.
You know what?
That looks like a mummified or zombie chihuahua.
No, quick. Everybody take a screenshot. And this is going to be one of Frederick's emojis. This is going to be one of his emotes. We got to cast llama.
Bring it. I need a lesson on emotes and how all that stuff works. That's another reason. A slight non sequitur here. So as we talk about Twitch, and this is the kind of the first Twitch stream for This Week in Photo, or TWiP, the first TWiP Twitch. The emote scene. I know the whole emote thing and giving bits and all that. I still haven't gotten my brain around how all that works. Like, what does a bit mean, and what does it mean to give a bit, and how much is it worth, and what can the recipient do with them? It's all
a bit's a penny. It's just a penny. So
like a literal penny.
Yeah, you buy them, and then they're pennies. Basically, it's cash. to some
like extent. Is it real legal tender cash that you can use in the real world, or is it cash that can be used to give to other streamers?
It's cash you can use to give to other streamers.
Okay,
right.
So you can't.
I'm right.
Okay.
But yeah, I think a bit accounts for about a penny, if I remember reading correctly. So it's a way for people to tip you without actually going to your PayPal account and tipping you. It's more of a social tipping thing. So if I had
PayPal, I can take that money and go buy something with it. With a bit, I can't take that money and go buy something. I can go do something on Twitch with it, right? It's Twitch currency.
I don't know. You know what? We're gonna have to have a Low Base Guy bit tutorial.
Yeah.
And kudos to Joshua. He's managing your stream right now like a pro. So
Joshua, thank you for jumping in and helping me, because I'm running around naked right now. I don't have my bots installed, so it could get ugly in here.
Yeah.
So let's try this configuration, Troy. What do you say? How about this? Hey, look at that.
That's cool. Now I'm not going to be able to blow my nose and stuff, but all right.
Yeah, well, I can. I just click away, but yeah. Lois guy said, the words Chaz and immediately remember. Yeah, I love that. All right. Cool. So thoughts on this shot? This alpaca or this zombie chihuahua? Which what do you think?
Yeah, this is like the zombie llama, and he's not centered. I think that, you know, if you're going to crop something, crop with intention, which means balance. So crop it wide, crop it tight, crop it off center, you know, but do it intentionally and on purpose. This one just seems like that right side is a little too loose. I don't know that this fits into film noir. I think this fits into black and white creepy, but I love it, and I'm glad that Mark sent that in because we're going to use that.
Your audio's doing strange things. It cut out for a second and then came back hot and then went back to normal. Just FYI.
I don't know.
Maybe your ATEM is about to take a dump too.
Don't say that. You can't get them right now.
I know, that's why I'm so pissed. So, but luckily I had another one.
And then,
all right.
Joshua says a bit is one literal penny which you can exchange for actual cash.
Oh, it is money.
Yeah.
Hey now. All right.
Okay, so
yeah, I've been giving bits out like I thought they were just, you know, I know it was actual money. Jeez. All right, Jim Peters is up next. Jim Peters says, "End of a long day." See, now this is noir. Maybe it's the hat. I don't know. And that's a self-portrait. That's Jim in there.
Yeah. Way to go, Jim. Holy crap. That's amazing. That is such a cool shot. You know, when I first looked at this image, I thought there's a blank space on the wall that you could have dropped in like some creepy image, right? Like some wall art, you know, that would have been really cool. Some like a period piece or something. But all things considered, I love the lighting. I love the camera that's sitting on the table right there. The bottle of Jim Beam that's being hidden. I would crop this horizontal and just take all that space out of the top because there's nothing there. So let's just crop that out, make it a nice panoramic. And I think you've got a Class A image there. I like it.
Or you could keep it as is and use it as a Photoshop contest. You know, what would you put on the wall above Jim in the shots? What is he thinking about? Because he's kind of looking up kind of towards that area a little bit. So what are your Photoshop skills would come into play in what you would place up there, and also how well you can match the lighting, because he's got some dramatic lighting on that wall up there. It's not going to be easy to match. That'd be an interesting contest.
Yeah, Lobe says, or a jazz album cover, or a photo of a jazz player.
There you go.
How about a photo of another film noir scene, like a murder scene or something?
Yeah. See, there's so much you can do. So much.
Yep.
I like it.
Great.
The llama from the prior image, gingerbread. Yeah. There you go. Inception critique. There you go. I love it.
I only had software set up in a way that I could access everything quickly. I could do that really fast, but you
could. You'll get there. Padawan. All right. Next shot up is Armando Brooke. I think Armando's in the chat too. I think I saw his name in there.
Yeah, he is here.
Armando says, "This was a great theme. I'd love to have more time to develop." Yeah, we should do more with this theme for sure.
Yeah.
Look at this one. This one wants to be longer. Let's look at that.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The chat, it can be, yeah. How long have I had these murder thoughts? Says Joshua. Only for art. Only set up for art.
Yeah, like only for the last 50 years or so.
Yeah, 52 years. I really like the feel of this image. I'm wondering, is this all one image, or did he composite it? I'm getting a sense that he may have composited it, but I can't see any telltale signs. So, as a solid image, I really like it.
Yeah, it's fun. The only telltale sign I saw of compositing was, well, first, the silhouette in the foreground is kind of, it's stark, but this figure over here made me think, like, what's going on there?
I think
this edge, there's an edge around these figures on this side. Yeah, so I guess all these figures on the right side are kind of double exposed or ghosted somehow.
Yeah, in the chat, Armando says it was a composition of 2 images.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I only guessed that, only said that because I know Armando likes to do that. So I was sort of leaning towards that. I love it. I think it's very creative. I think that it might work a little better if the silhouetted individuals had a slightly soft edge on them, because I think that that's what would happen in this scene because of the haze and the distance and the dirt and stuff. But I love the fact that they're looking into this scene of mystery.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you think the key line and the border add to this? Not to harp on that, but one of the the issues I have with key lines and borders, it just seems like a dramatic waste of pixels when they could be used for the overall image, because this is a grand image and it feels like you're constricting it into that space. Does it make sense to constrict it, or just let it use all of those pixels, and then if you want to border it, you know, go to Michael's and buy a frame and a border and put it on there? I don't know. What do you think?
You know what? I think it's up to the artist. I like the fact that things are constrained because it's a window, and I like looking through the window. I like the idea that it doesn't just bleed over into the existing real estate that I'm looking at it on. I like the fact that it's curtailed into a space. If you were to take that analogy further, then, you know, why are we looking at this in a browser? Why aren't we looking at this, you know, full screen? Everything layers on top of everything. So I feel like when you put a border and then you put a key line on it in the right image, it sort of creates this sort of safe space around it that says, okay, now the image is going to start inside there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I need a safe space for images. I don't know. I just want my images to fly free. And then the other thing, I think Joshua brought this up, was we were talking about, you know, how much we obsess over megapixels, or we used to, in resolution, and then to not use them seems like, you know, the antithesis of what you're going for, especially if 80%, 70 to 80% of your audience is looking at this on a small device like a tablet or a phone. Even to restrict that even further and not maximize the real estate that device can offer to tell the story of the photo, it seems like, I don't know, it seems constricting.
Yeah, but we could say that by the method in which we're delivering the images, right? You could say, oh, well, you know, sharing them through a stream is compressing them, so, you know, it's everything is limiting to the photo, really.
Yeah.
And being somebody who prints my images, I mean, that's how I make a living. I sell my images. That these images that I see on the web are only the whispers of what that image could actually be ever. So they have to they have to be printed, and so you can put all that resolution out there, because right now this doesn't even do any of these images justice.
Yeah, but it's all we have right now, right? Until we come up with VR or Neuralink or something. These are the marbles that they've given us to play with. Smartphone screens and tablets and all that. But cool. I dig the shot. The shot's really, really cool. Yeah, I like the implement. I do like the border on it especially, and I'll tell you why. In this implementation, the monochromaticness of this photo and how dark it is, the border around it, the white border, like you said, tells you where the photo ends. Without the border, because of how dark it is, it would bleed off to the sides and you'd kind of lose where the image ends at. But by constricting it and having you sort of putting the viewer in sort of a voyeur position to look into the image, and you can tell where it is, it does feel like you're looking through a window into this world. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice.
Congratulations, Armando. Very good, man. All right, next shot. What is this from Michael DeRay? Is this a post with images in it? Oh no, he's just commenting on the genre. Yes, Nora Znotinas. I like this shot too. She turned around and left is the title.
Yeah,
look at that.
Bam.
See, that's cool. That's I like that a lot.
Yeah. This is one of those kind of images that I look at and wish it was mine. It's great. It is great. My only niggle is that I wish that the silhouette of the girl, right? I'm going to assume the woman in there was not right below the bullet hole. I wish that maybe that vacant space in the lower left was where the shadow was. Something like that. Because I feel like the image is too stacked in the center, and that lower left is wasted, right? Like maybe there's needs to be some bushes there, or it's just a little bit of compositional balance. But other than that, yeah, it's really good.
Maybe some text over there or some copy. Would do it.
Yeah, maybe, or a street sign, right? Like a street sign that says or something like that would be really cool.
Yep. This is really cool, really thought-provoking, and definitely a story. I think part of the thrust of doing a topic like film noir is storytelling, and you're telling a little vignette of a dramatic story, like what went on, and or making your brain kind of like, oh, this is what happened. Especially with this, a couple of words of title in there, she turned around and left. It's like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah. Moosey says, it bothers me that the bullet hole is black. Shouldn't it be white? Well, that kind of depends, right? Like if this is a bullet hole looking into a dark factory, no matter how much light's on the outside, that hole is going to be dark. So it really kind of depends. I'm okay with it being dark. It doesn't bother me. It feels like this is a bullet hole, like went through the window of a car, or something like that, like a mystery.
Yeah. Low Base Guy says, this week in photo supports voyeurism. You heard it here first. Hey, we're all voyeurs to some degree. So that's what television is.
Yeah. I think maybe if we just crop off that left side, maybe like a third of the left side, almost to the branch, it gets rid of that lower left corner, that dead space there. And that helps the image a lot. But I love this image.
Yeah, this is fun. This is a fun image. All right. Thank you, Nora. All right. Next shout up is from Eric Pronsky, also in the chat. Eric says, cowboy having a smoke. I had the opportunity to shoot on a working ranch, and I happened to be in the right place at the right time. This cowboy was sitting in front of an open door in a barn, looking out, and the light hit him perfectly. He seemed oblivious to me shooting. A little grain added in capture one. Let's take a look. Look at that. Huh?
That is so good. I love that backlight. That's my favorite. Anytime that I'm shooting, especially like weddings and portraits, I look for backlight. Backlight is one of my favorite lights ever. It just really brings out a different perspective. So this is really well done. I love that edge light on his leg and his arm and left detail.
This is all mood. This shot is all mood. He's got that stash going on with the hat, and he's chilling. You can almost smell this kind of leathery scene with smoke, in there. It's really cool. I like it.
If this was if I was gonna edit this, I would probably crop off the right side a little bit tighter. Looks like there's a wall or a door edge. I don't think you need the black space to the right of that. And I might take off a little bit on the left. I don't want to crop him right into the knee, but let that background go a little bit darker. I know it's cool that there's some cowboy gear back there, but I think the story really is his face and the smoke. And maybe bring that background dark down and just see how it feels if it brings more attention on him.
Just leave a little hints of highlights of that background and make him stand out a little more. Yeah.
Right. And this
is I agree with the crop on the right side, though. Yeah, for sure. I don't know about the losing anything on the left. I do agree with cropping it a little bit tighter, because that's wasted space there.
Yeah. This is one of those kind of images that you can really get the subtleties out of a print that you cannot get on the computer streaming it like this, right? Like you could take that background down almost to black where you can still see detail in a print. We're going to have a really hard time doing that over a stream.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's the challenge of doing critiques via stream, because The internet and servers tend to compress the heck out of things.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Eric Ponsky showing skills. All right, Michael DeRay's up next. The real me, an introverted karaoke singing snapshot artist.
No, that was from last week's.
Was this last week?
Yeah. I don't know.
Sure?
Yeah, we used it.
Oh yeah, this is the real me. Yeah, you're right. Duh. Wait, how did that get in there? Did I not? It's Last Activity, Johnson. Yeah. All right. What did we miss? We got that one. That one. Okay, we're on Mulligan from Craig Stanfley.
What's funny is I sorted it the same way that you did.
Yeah. It happens. See, normally that would have been edited in post, right? So
yeah, no.
We're doing it live.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think of this one? It's a Craig Stanfley.
This is beautiful. This is really wonderful. I would, again, I'm not a fan of the far left. I think that it's too much space, but the light in her eyes, on her face, that's just wonderful. That is just so nice.
What about the highlight in her eye? I don't know. When I look at it, I feel like I know where he's trying to go with the highlight in the eye, but it feels like it's just a little bit on the aggressive side. Like it's a little bit too shiny. Or is it just me?
No. So I say traditionally, but there are schools of thought that the highlight in the eye should be smaller and much more specular, and to show the roundness of the eye. This is, I think, when you have a highlight like that cuts across the whole eye, and it doesn't show any shape or shadow in it. It flattens the eye, and so I would have fixed that reflection to keep it more specular and keep it maybe more to what would be camera left of the eye, and then bring up the iris a little bit, bring up the shape of the eye just a tad, because I think that would really come out great. And even if you were to take this to be a little bit more of that Star Trek lighting, right? Like where you would be just the mask of the eyes and bring down the lower half of her face just a little bit more. So the above the fold, if you will, above her nose would be brighter, and then her mouth and chin would drop off a little bit. I think that would create some more drama.
Smear a little Vaseline on that lens.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it's a cool shot. It's a great profile. We don't see her right eye, which is great, because this is like a true profile. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm. And it fits this whole storytelling narrative, right? Like, what's she thinking about? Where's she looking? Because your brain could go in any number of directions. Like, she's trying to get out of there. She's afraid, or somebody just showed up that she's afraid of, or, there's a lot of ways that this could go.
Right. Very well done. I like it. I like this a lot. This is something that anybody can do during any photo shoot that has a window anywhere. You can use this light. Window light is amazing.
Yep. Low Base Guy says he's going to lurk while driving to work. Drive safely, man. Don't be watching the stream while driving. All right. Next shot up is from Steven Scharf. Steven says, abandoned grain elevators at Silo City, Buffalo, New York.
Wow.
That's tight. I like that.
Now, when I see places like this, I love the photo, but the first thing I think of is like, I want to shoot there with a subject.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say you and Craig Stanfley and Craig Colvin and, all you model wedding portrait type photographers. I think the same thing. What a great set. Just needs this needs people in it, or a person in it. Craig Colvin would say a nude body in there would be perfect.
Right. Which we couldn't show. So
could not show. No.
No. You got to carry a dress of some sort with you, like what Stampley did when he had Riley out on the concrete. She had an outfit. Mm-hmm. So that helped a lot.
What do you think of the lighting in this shot though? So one of the things I like, first of all, I like the shot. I like the direct kind of stark lighting. I love the processing of this. Steven always nails things, but I'm curious about Steven is very skilled at architectural photography and HDR, obviously, to balance the interior and exterior. I'm wondering why he didn't balance, or maybe those windows are frosted or something, but why not bring those down a little bit and let us see a little bit of detail outside of that window versus blowing it completely out? You know what I mean? What do you think?
That's a complicated answer. I obviously can't speak for Steven. I don't know why he wouldn't. I wouldn't do that though. And I got to tell you, I'm getting tired of seeing these hyper reality shots where every highlight has detail. And there are times when it's not reality to do that. Now, if you're standing in this space and you're looking around, your eyes are probably not going to see detail out that window unless you look at the window, and then the inside of the room is going to go dark. We just don't realize that, right? When we're doing that. I like the blown out window. I'm okay with that. To me, that's a center point. Actually, I feel like the window is where I'm drawn to. And then the secondary is the thing on the ground, whatever that is. The highlight that I am distracted by is the far, looks like a hallway. That wall.
Oh yeah, down here.
Yeah. Take that down, and I think we're great. I think it's perfect. But I'm okay with those windows being blown out. That feels right. It feels good.
That's how you would see it, right? Well, I think you would see it like that if you were in that room and it was just bright light streaming into that room and the room inside was dark. And your eyes are balancing for the interior, trying to gather as much light as possible so that you can see in the room. The windows are going to go. It's going to be white. Yeah. So
right. And I'm willing to bet that this is a dark place. That when he walked in there, it's dark. Right, your eyes are going to have a hard time adjusting to that light, and photographically, we're able to bring up that darkness in the room. And so I think we're seeing sort of a hyper reality already. I think it would probably look darker to our eyes. So, but I love the shot. I think it's the graphical elements are fantastic. I think the presentation is great. I mean, this is a top-notch image for sure.
Yeah, I agree. You think it fits the film noir, or is it just black and white? Like that's what I struggle with. Like, what's film noir? What's just black and white? Does film noir need to have people in it with big brimmed hats looking out of windows, or can it be this?
Kinda, film noir would work if there was a knife laying on the ground, right? Just out of the shadow, like off the edge, like some mystery of, deceit or, something going on in there. So it's not quite film noir, but I do like it. I mean, it's black and white. How can you not like these?
Oh, black and white with the border and the key line. Come on.
I know. It's a win-win.
It's missing infrared. That's it. If it was infrared, you'd just be.
Everybody has to drink now because you said infrared.
That's right. We're gonna do that. I think that should be a member mixer thing.
Oh yeah,
right.
Totally do that.
Stephen Sharp, thank you. Let Karen post in here. Okay. All right. Next shot is from James Glennie. James says, "Gotta love foggy, rainy nights for that film noir look. I wish these conditions were more predictable so I could hire a model to walk along here in three-piece suit and a fedora, maybe a cigar." Yeah, right. That's exactly what this scene needs. Is that? Yeah. It was a dark night. I knew she was around here somewhere, but I couldn't find her.
I know. I love that. That is really great. And you know what? One of the things I really love about this shot are the speckles that I know there's probably little water droplets, and you're getting those little highlights on the lens. That's where you get those flares from. Yeah, I love that. I think that's really solid. That's really good.
Are those, when there's water on a lens like that, is that technically circles of confusion, or do circles of confusion only show up when you're focusing on something and there's a high level of bokeh with specular highlights in there?
That one.
That last one? Okay. Those words that you just said right there.
Yeah, those words. Yeah. You exceeded my syllable limit right there. I can't.
Sorry.
I can't read.
Sorry about that.
You know what I might suggest with this shot, James, is that you crop off all the buildings on the left. Maybe keep those last two benches though. So crop off that left first bench right up to that middle bench. It gets rid of some of that noise that's the railing and the other additional light sources, and then you only really have the right light source, which is those light poles right going down the path. I think that makes it a stronger image.
I wonder how hard it would be to composite a silhouetted sort of figure walking down, if you could do it realistically.
If you're Renee Robin, you can do it, but right. I can't do it.
Right. Yeah. Mortals can't do it.
No, I can't do it. Yeah.
I like it. Very cool.
Yeah. Nice border, nice presentation. Fantastic. Yeah. Definitely get that more and more.
Yeah. I like it. The black and white. I'm starting to dig. Maybe it's this critique, but I'm starting to love black and white more and more and appreciate it more and more. We know what it's all about, i.e., it takes a lot of the elements away from the image so that you could focus on the structure and the story of that image. But I'm starting to like it more and more.
Gingerbearding, James says, yeah, I wanted the crop, but also the foreground bench. Yeah, this is the struggles that we have as creatives and photographers, is that there's a scene that we love, and there's always a part of it that I think we love more, and it's hard to give up the other parts of it. But ask yourself, if you were painting this, would you paint those lights on the left that bright? Would you paint that railing at the top left with that bright of background? I'm going to guess not, because it's going to draw too much attention. You might paint them, but you're going to paint them darker. So can you burn it down? Can you take it down? If you can't, then you can crop it out. And Stephen Sharf's in the house.
Hey, Stephen.
Nice.
Welcome to the fray, man. We just went over your shot. You missed it. But you can catch the replay. Look at that. Actually, you know what? Since Steven's in there, this isn't a linear format. Let's just go back to Steven's. Since Steven is in here, let's re-bring his shot up.
Yes.
And go full screen with that. So, Steven, one of the questions that came up that I brought up was, since you are, an accomplished real estate photographer, why didn't you apply your HDR superpowers to the windows, or was that intentional? Troy said he thinks it's intentional and likes it as is. I tend to like it as is too. I'm just curious, was it, what was your mindset around not showing detail in those highlights? So let us know.
Yes. Inquiring
mind. It's a cool shot though. Yeah, we like that. We like the shot a lot. See, this is the Twitch format, Troy Miller, being able to, just come in here, hang out in chats, informal. And that's this part of the stretch, right? Is doing this and letting go of, okay, we got to keep it in line. We got to keep the pacing at a certain level. There's no rewind,
Right.
The Twitch format allows for like, okay, whatever. Let's just be informal about it. I'll get better over time, but
we'll get it.
Oh man. Steven says it was intentional to add a sense of mystery. It's very dark, as Troy mentioned. It's an abandoned grain elevator. Ubrex. Or Urbex. Sorry. Oh, Urban Explorer. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah. Hey, Steven, your avatar does not look like you at all. You're gonna have to.
What's that? Ringo. Steven's avatar should be a shot of Ringo.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
A menacing shot of that cat. Love it. All right, cool. All right, moving right along. Thank you, Stephen Sharf.
Yeah.
And welcome. Next shot up is Mark Harris. Mark says, Film Noir portrait from a session with Tiffany Helms from a couple of years ago. I thought she has a film noir look, so I played with that concept.
Very nice.
That's a portrait right there.
Very statuesque. I really like that a lot. Yeah. Maybe bring down. I mean, when I think of film noir, I really think of that focused lighting on the mask of the face, like the eyes and things. And so it's a little bit less of the traditional lighting style. So for this one, maybe bring down the light on the forehead and just bring out those eyes. Those eyes really pop a lot, especially in film noir. That's one of the big things. But this particular lighting style, where you have the light so high up on camera left, her right, it's going to light her forehead before it lights the mask of her face. So you always either have to put a gobo in there or vignette her forehead a little bit, bring that down.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna comment on it, not on it missing a certain element.
Of what, a key line?
See, I didn't have to say it.
No, it's fine.
I'm going to challenge you, Troy Miller. I'm going to challenge you when you start shooting weddings again to do an entire wedding with no borders or key lines. Could you do that?
No, because my traditional style of imagery I put borders on everything I do. Everything is borders. Everything.
Really?
Yeah. All my prints have borders. Do I have a print here? Do I have a print? Where do I have a print? I don't have any.
Like every print that you create has border on it.
Yeah, everything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. No, I actually do a sloppy border on.
I like that. Those are cool.
Yeah, on every single one of my images. I don't want to.
That's your style then. So it's more of a stylistic thing. That is your signature kind of look.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I'm in my office and I don't have any photos near me. I'd have to walk over to the cupboard, but we proof everything, and every single proof actually has a sloppy border printed on the proof as when we deliver those to our clients. And we've been doing that for 25 years. And the funny thing is that probably 2/3 of all my reorders have sloppy borders. Even the wall portrait.
They like that, huh?
Yep. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons I think they like it is because nobody does it. I'm just saying,
I would have thunk that the sloppy border thing would be, especially in the wedding photography industry where things tend to be, styles come and go. I would have thought that sloppy borders would have been one of those styles that came and go, kind of like, the parents floating in the clouds above the couple.
Borders were never a thing, though. It was something that I started on my own. My lab, when I was printing film, my lab came back and said, "Hey, we want to show you something. We think you'd like this," because I like things that are edgy and different. And they showed me these proofs with this mask that they had an option of buying, and I said, "Oh my God, that is exquisite." So I paid $800 or $600 at the time. I bought the mask for them. So they would print all my stuff with that without charging me more. And then, of course, they used it for everybody else. But
of course,
when my lab closed, I had to figure out how to do it digitally. So I figured it out digitally, and I could not be happier. It sets me apart. You see my work anywhere with that sloppy border, you're going to be like, oh, that's Imagery Concepts. That's Troy for sure.
Well, then I think you have another clue as to what your Twitch look is going to be.
There'll be some borders. Yeah, not
sloppy borders, fire, rivets, pottery. You got to get it all in there somehow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But great here, Mark. No.
Yeah, I dig the shot. It's very cool. Yeah, I like this is one light, right? This is definitely a one light, kind of off into the to model right and rear, right?
Yeah, he may have a reflector off on camera, right? To throw some detail, or something in the room could be doing that if it's in a room or something like that. So yeah, but definitely single light. Single lights are the most powerful lighting source. Just one light. Everything else from there is a modification of a single light.
Yeah. Today I am lit with, normally I'm lit with those LED panels. Today I am lit with room light because I didn't have time to set up my lights, and I'm facing the light now instead of it being to my back. So during the day I could actually use natural lighting for my streams. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah. So very cool. All right. That was Mark Harris. Thank you, Mark Harris.
Yes.
Speaking of black and white portraits, Michael Duray's, didn't we see a Michael Duray already in here? No, we saw his name here.
Well, I think you brought up remember you brought up his snapshot artist earlier.
Yes. Okay, cool.
So we have
Film Noir, another black and white shot. I'm really curious to see what you think about this black and white shot.
I love
it's more of a portrait. It is film noir because it's in that kind of dramatic portrait, but ultra high contrast, very low detail, very moody. From a portrait photographer's standpoint, what would you do to this, if anything?
I love the broad lighting. I love how the fact that camera left, his right side of his face is really just kind of gone. I'm really good with that. I would bring the entire exposure down so that his face barely had detail in it, right? And we could just barely see his eye. And then I don't think we need his elbow. I really don't. I mean, I think we could take the elbow out entirely, or let it.
See, I thought about that, because if you take it out, then it's just a disembodied head floating. You kind of need that elbow to let your brain know what he's doing. Right, he's building. He's, at least you kind of get a hint that he's kind of bending, or got his head pointed down a little bit. Maybe his hand is on the back of his head because he's thinking about something intently. But without that in there, it's just a head floating, singing "I Ain't Got No Body."
This is one of those images that's it's really a challenge, to kind of decide where you want it to go. I mean, the elbow is okay. I feel like the elbow is disembodied as well. And it feels unnaturally far away from him, which I know it's probably not, but it feels like that because that gap between, his face and where his arm begins. So that's why I'm like, take the whole image down, bring the exposure way, 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 way down, so that if the elbow is going to be in there, it just barely shows up. And definitely bring that face down.
This is one of those shots that might be cool as a triptych, right? Where you have him, same processing in different kind of poses, but if you did that, even either a triptych with the elbow in there or a triptych without the elbow, where it's just sort of an emotion face study.
And James Gingerbirding says different mood without the elbow. I agree. I mean, take the elbow out, crop in super tight on the face, the head, the neck, and just really, really, really bring in the image in there. You're going to add a lot of tension. And I think that you're going to simplify the frame.
Could you do a content aware scale on this shot? Because content aware is pretty damn smart. Like if you scaled the whole thing and just brought it to a 1-to-1 aspect ratio, it would, well, you tell me, you probably used it a lot more than I have. Content aware scale would respect the face and all that, and just shrink the darker areas, letting you bring that arm closer to the head without destroying the shot.
Yeah, I still don't think the elbow works in the shot, though. I think that's the whole thing for me, is that elbow doesn't add anything no matter where you put it. It just doesn't work. So
without the head, without the elbow in there, it could be like, kind of a Jesus looking down on the people type shot. It's very, but with the elbow in there, like Ginger Bearding says, it is you know, a very different mood with the elbow in there because he looks frustrated. Yeah, definitely a frustrated, tired, kind of exhausted, exacerbated mood with the elbow in there. And you take it out and it's pensive, I guess.
Well, if we're going to take this, you know, with a direction of keeping the elbow, I would say let's try to get some shadow detail in his arm to connect the elbow to his body, right? Let's try to get some shadow detail in there, and then let's crop the right side and the top and bottom to tighten the frame up a little bit, because right now it's a little lopsided.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'd have a great image. This is definitely an image to work with and play with a lot. There's a lot there to give attention to.
Yeah, it's fun. It's almost an alpha channel by itself, isn't it?
It is.
All right. East Sparta.
I agree with
in Sparta. All right. Next shout outs from our friend Craig Colvin. Craig throwing the gauntlet down. My entry for Film Noir. See?
Yeah.
See, that's the story. That's a story. You know what's going on. It's moody. It's cinematic. I think maybe that's the definition of film noir. It's black and white, kind of gritty, slightly high contrast, and cinematic. In that it's telling a story, or it makes your brain think that there's a story here. What do you think of it overall? Nailing your topic.
I love it. I really do. I love it. I only have a couple little suggestions, and those are crops. Crop up from the bottom a little bit. That would just kind of tighten it up. Well, maybe I don't want to crop that right woodwork on the right. So I don't know, but I think I would crop it from the left, because where the shadow and the light from the blinds, I think that should be dead center in the image if we can. You know what I mean? I love how that divides the image, that little shadow line between the blinds.
Yeah. So it would be square, you think, with a square crop?
Closer to square. Yeah, something closer to square. Because this is one of those kind of images that if you crop tighter to your model, like if we crop off the left, it's going to add tension. And this subject matter does really good with tension. Right now, I think that there's too much space. So just pull that in on the left, maybe take half of that out of there.
How was he able to like the minimize the lines, the horizontal lines on her face when they're so stark on the rest of her body? It's so contrasty, but on her face, they're not there. But if you look at the wall, they're definitely there on the wall. So they should be the same. So he had to do something to make sure that face wasn't obscured.
I'm guessing a little bit of Photoshop would have to have been worked in there. And
yeah, I've heard of that app.
Yeah, I would say though that leave the lines across her face. Like that's fine. You don't need to fix those. Yeah, leave those there. It sort of,
if they're in the right spot, because if it's going across her eyes and obscuring her eyes, yes. But if
then just fix that eye region. But putting those shadows across her face really creates even more tension, kind of puts her behind something. Then I think would work really great for this.
I feel like he should composite Pennywise the clown into that dark area. Just the eyes of Pennywise peeking back there.
Yes, but Pennywise doesn't fit noir. You know, Pennywise is colorful. So
yeah, that would switch it to horror. For sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. Sorry, no Pennywise in this one.
No Pennywise. Good shot, Craig Colvin. Thank you. I'm curious to know what your favorite's going to be, because you said you already picked it.
I did, yeah.
All right, Lamb is up next. Last but not least, second to last but not least, Lamb says, my entry for photo critique, photography noir. I've never heard of the word noir French since the film days until Troy mentioned it as the last theme. Based on my understanding of noir definition through Google search, thus almost 3/4 of the frame in total darkness was done on purpose to fit the theme noir, which means black in French. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. This is great. I love this. Yeah. Nightmare Llama will take over for Pennywise. Yeah. Yeah, James, you're right. We can just put that
Nightmare Llama is gonna. I think Nightmare Llama should be the official theme mascot animal for This Week in Photo.
You know what?
That's our mascot.
You need to set up your bot to be Nightmare Llama, and then yeah.
Yes, yeah, because this is the first stream. This is historic. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. I love what Lamb did. I really like this. I think it's too much. I think it's too much dark. I'm looking at like maybe half as much.
Like crop it like right like that maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to play with it. What I really wish was that arrow was in the front, like in the front right quadrant of this image.
Oh, down here?
Yeah. And then the rest of it was dark, so you couldn't see. But I love the concept.
Well, it's shot like this. That's relatively easy to do, right?
Yeah.
How would you do that, Troy? How would you know? I saw a demonstration from Russell Preston Brown. He's a friend and an Adobe evangelist. And he kind of has this sort of, Bill Nye the Science Guy vibe about him with his Photoshop tutorials and all that. But I saw a tutorial he did once where Photoshop allows you to draw a plane and then manipulate items based on that plane. So when I look at this shot, could you draw like a vanishing point plane that respects the geometry of the shot and then just drag that arrow out into the right and have it respect and size itself accordingly? Or would you just grab it and just, perspective distort it?
There's a couple ways to do this. One, yes, you can create that perspective masking, and then once you've grabbed that layer, you could drag it out, and wherever you dropped it, it would resize it to respect the perspective. What else you could do is simply draw some perspective lines of your own, just guidelines that follow the building and the arc and stuff. And then when you drag that, you would select that arrow, you would pull it out to the area you want it, and then you would use free transform then to kind of make it fit those lines. Yeah, you could easily do that. Yeah.
Or like Eric Pronsky says in the chat, you can do that with a wide angle lens and get closer.
Why
do you got to simplify things, Pronsky? Come on.
Obvious.
Come on. We like difficulty. Come on. Don't be problem solving with Occam's razor. Come on.
Yeah. I do love it. Very creative.
Yeah, no, this is cool. This is cool. Thank you, Lamb. This is good. You always surprise us with awesome shots. All right, last but not least, I believe, is Mr. Low Bass Guy himself, Joshua Summerfelt.
Yeah.
The Shadow returns. What do you know about the Shadow, man? You don't know about the Shadow.
He knows. Yeah.
What evil knows? Oh, who knows what evil lurks within the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
Sorry, Eric. That's what the chat's for. You could be a smartass all you want. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. we need, because we're smartasses. So
yeah.
Joshua says he just got to work and right on time, man, because we're looking at your lizard noir.
Yeah.
Noir.
This is a beautiful image. Even not considering the noir category, this has got to be one of my favorite images that Joshua's ever shared with us. I really, really, really like this image. I wish I would have seen him process it, on stream, because I'm sure that was, to see what he did to it would have been really amazing. But it's just a fantastic image. I just love the quality of it. Does it fit film noir? Yeah, I think so. I mean, we got to give the lizard a name, right? Like Charisse or Cheryl or Tina or something, and she's spying on her lover over there. Something, I don't know.
I think we just call her the Lizard Dame.
The Dame. Yeah. But great use of depth of field. I love how the front edge of the leaf is slightly out of focus on the body, but the body is nice and solid. The tail kind of falls off. That gives us depth right? That's so important in images, is that we have a sense of depth, because there's no depth there. So
yeah. You know, it's interesting. You know, you see, I've been hanging out on Joshua's Twitch streams a fair amount over the past several days and watching him do these edits and the 3D stuff. And he's meticulous about these shots. And when you just look at a shot like this, it's like, yeah, like, okay, you got a good shot, and, you know, did some processing, on to the next one. Josh was obsessing over every little detail in here, from the highlight in the lizard's eye down to tail and this thing. And, you know, it's, I think it's a testament to making something look natural, right? Or to making it look effortless. If it looks effortless and just sort of serendipitous, and you were kind of in the right place at the right time, you got this shot and did a little bit of processing to it. But in reality, you did a lot of work on it, and to make it, because you care so much, and to make it look like this, to have that level of sort of pop to it, I think that's a big deal. He deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize that we need to be intentional about our images, whether it's a snapshot and then you're like, I love this and I'm going to work on it some more. Joshua's smart at, I love it. We need to be intentional about the images that we put out. You know, if we're going to show an image, or we're going to sell an image to a client, or we're going to put into a contest, you have to be intentional about finishing it, and not just roll with your snapshot or whatever it is, right? Like it doesn't work. And, you know, you pick the sharpest, you put in the best technique, and yeah, it shows in this image. This is really nice.
Yeah. I'm a fan. This one, this one looks like it wants to be big. This is one of those, you know, we say on the show all the time, some shots just want to be big and framed. You know, this looks like one of those shots. Yeah. Tell Peter to put this in the Pack Artist Gallery.
It's funny you mentioned that, because this one is being considered for that. So, yep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, make Joshua a couple $1,000s in this shot.
Yes, that's my hope. I want to print this as like a 40 or 60 inch acrylic. Hang on.
Sweet. That would be sweet.
Yeah, it'll be
all right. So we're at the end of the line for these shots, at least. What's your favorite? I'm gonna let you pick your favorite, since you are the expert of this category.
I'm not the expert. I just happen to pick it, and I like it a lot. I like Nora's. I'm really a fan of Nora's. The bullet hole. She turned around and left.
That one.
Yeah, and I will tell you the thing that really, because there was a lot of them that I really liked a lot, right? The fact that she gave this a title I thought was superb to me. It just finished the whole story, having that title. I thought it was great. And this is very representative of the film noir category. You know, that mystery and the bullet hole, and, you know, that whole thing. So yeah.
You know, the film noir, maybe in the future, maybe sometime later this year or early next year, we'll do another film noir or similar type challenge, and have people write a little paragraph to go with it. You know, a fictional paragraph, not just a caption, but create a story along a particular theme and write a short paragraph about what you're depicting in the scene, but it has to be fiction.
That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Then what we would do is we would have to read the paragraph and then show the image. Yeah.
Because that would, I think, you know, as and congratulations, Nora Znotinas, is a fantastic shot. Thank you. You know, as we sort of move forward in this world, like, you know, you look at, in the olden days of photography, everything had to be captured on film, right? You had one frame of film, and if you were shooting movies, you were shooting, you know, X frames a second on film and processing all this. So you had a lot of restrictions. These days, it just, you know, it constantly occurs to me that the display mechanisms that photographers and content creators have available to them can do so much more than just display a single frame. right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but we're still displaying, we're still shooting, and there's so much to learn about photography. You can never get bored with it. But on the other side, if you lean more into storytelling, a still photograph or an image is really just one part of a story if you're telling a story. And because we all have these supercomputers with us and tablets and computers and everything for the most part is being viewed on devices or platforms that can show stills and video and audio and text or any combination thereof of those things. So why not lean into that and build a shot that has multiple elements to it, especially if you know this thing is only ever going to be shown digitally. Then you can lean into that. Like if you knew that you were creating a shot, like you're a wedding photographer, so your shots, for the most part, they may share them on social media, but for the most part, you're shooting for a still artistic representation of that shot. But if you remove that restriction of, okay, this has to stand on its own in a book, you remove that and the output mechanism is a computer, then it opens up. You could have narration on that. You could have, a shot that has some ambient audio like wind blowing or all kinds of stuff. You can do it all. And Instagram, Facebook, everything. Yeah, animation, Instagram, all these platforms can handle it. They handle looping. They added Instagram and Facebook, I believe, added seamless looping 2 years ago, something like that. So now you can do those cinemagraphs that just loop forever. You can do that stuff now. It's all there. So I don't know. I think we may have to do a challenge that fits into that.
Somewhere. Did you know, Low Bass Guy says, now there's an essay portion? I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah, wait till the math portion. Calculate the inverse square law and,
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. This is cool, though. So what do you think? This was our first critique. This is our first critique on Twitch, our first Twitique? I don't know. Twitique?
Careful making up words. You might be making up something that's already there.
Hey, I told my daughter the other day, she's like, you're making up words, because I like to put like words together, like little silly words.
Yeah.
And I told her all words are made up. Somebody made them up.
Yeah, somebody decided to call that thing an artichoke.
Yeah. Somebody decided to call Earth. It didn't show up that way. So
right.
Yeah. Gingerbeardy says Twitch week in photo. That's hard. That's really hard. Really hard to do. Thank you, JMP123. Thank you for that. I baited Steven Sharp and he took the bait. He said, or the partial differential equations portion. I knew yeah, you couldn't resist that bait. I baited him with math. No, Steven, if we do anything that's math related or like deep molecular biology related, you are exempt. You cannot participate.
Yeah.
So you can submit images, but they have to all be processed on like a Commodore 64 or something like that.
Oh my god.
TRS 80 something.
Yeah. Did you see Netflix has a new series called High Score? And it's
the whole thing.
I'm almost
I binged it, man. You know what they missed in that series? So the High Score series is about video gaming and the history of video gaming. Yeah. What they missed in there, they went through this whole thing about how text-based video games were the precursor to adventure games and online multiplayer games and all that stuff. They never mentioned Zork. You remember Zork?
I do remember Zork.
To be Zork was like this. That was the thing. Zork.
There was a lot of games at the time, right? There were so many things happening, and I thought it was interesting how they highlighted the first guy who came up with the term avatar. They highlighted a lot of the Sega winner that was at the time was crowned, the best video game player in the world. At the time they had the competition on Alcatraz. I thought they hit some firsts. They do talk about Dungeons and Dragons as the board game that led to. It was a cool series. They definitely put a lot of work into it. It was well done.
I never understood. Until watching that series, I never fully understood Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering, or those types of. I understood kind of the concept of it's kind of a card thing with these weird dice and and nerds. That's what, that's what I thought it was. But it's deep. Those things are huge.
A gate.
Would you say? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you hear a rustling in the distance. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? I remember sitting there just typing different things. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's it. You remember the one of the first attempts at AI called Eliza?
No,
Eliza might still be running. Eliza is an online thing where you go and it's just this command line prompt and you ask it things and it would respond with like weird stuff. So you'd say, "What's the meaning of life?" and it would respond. It was kind of like an early version of the Amazon Echo thing. Moose at 408 says Eliza was what got me into computers. Yeah, Eliza was like crazy. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, artificial intelligence robot Eliza was nominated for Russian president in 2017.
Oh, here it is. Wait, let's show it since we can show it. Let's see. Can I get over here? Yeah, right there. Yeah, there's Eliza. Hello, I am Eliza. Input. How are you today? Let's see. Would you prefer if I were not today? What?
All right. It's already.
All right, it's already lost. It's lost. Okay. When will the pandemic end? What are you gonna say?
Uh-oh.
What is it that you really see? That's why it failed, right? That's why it failed.
Joshua says Skynet.
Skynet. It says some people actually mistook her for human. I don't know the humans that they know. None of mine. None of the humans I know react like this. Let's try one more thing. Let's see. Okay, what is the meaning of life?
We know the answer to that. It better be 42.
If she doesn't say 42, have you asked anyone else? Look at that. See? Come on.
Hey, that's a politician right there. She's a politician.
Yeah, or a girlfriend or something. I don't know.
Wasn't in 40-Year-Old Virgin? Wasn't the advice he says just keep asking questions? Like no answers. Just when you meet a girl, just keep asking her questions.
Yeah. Well, that's how they press train you. When I went through press training at Apple, part of the press training is how to not answer questions. Like if you were to ask me, like, hey, Frederick, what about the next version of so-and-so? I would say, Troy, that's a really good question. But this release that we have today, it's the path to that. And A, B, and C, then I go on to the features and benefits of what we were releasing that day. And every question was always that's a really good question. Let me answer something completely different than what you asked.
Right. That's a really great question. Have you tried the jelly donuts at the donut shop down the street?
Yeah. But you got to artfully weave it in. Like if you ask me a question, like if you said, hey, will the next iPhone have a USB-C port on it? I'd say, you know what? That's a really good question. Lots of people are asking that. But the power of the Lightning port as opposed to USB-C it's insane. And then I go on and list the features, benefits of Lightning over USB-C.
So during our member mixers or interviews and stuff, when somebody asks you a question, you say, that's a really good question. We know that there's a truckload of BS coming in behind it. Pretty much.
I can't help it. I got lots of those trucks to deliver. Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to say that's a good question. You just say you could answer and make them think you're answering, but you give an answer with no substance. Like that's politics, right? You give an answer with no substance that makes them think you answered the question. The whole idea is to get them to move on to the next question, making them feel satisfied. Or in the case of politics, you're running the clock out on CNN or whatever news program because they only have like a finite amount of time for their segments. all you got to do is filibuster for a few minutes, and don't answer any questions, and you're done. So
luckily, I've never had to work in corporate, and I've never had to deal with that because I think I would fail at it miserably.
Yeah. Politics of corporate are not fun because there's a you don't know what you don't know. So a lot of times you're shadow boxing the wrong shadow. So, is it Louis guy? What?
Oh, you know who
good at that? Dave from Lucasfilm. Oh, I don't know that.
I don't know who Dave.
Yes, the politician technique. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's fun. That you gotta. It's almost the gamification of,
conversation,
being social. Yeah, and conversation. Yeah, we should do that. We should do an experiment, like do a duel. Let's have a conversation where you have 6 questions, I have 6 questions, and we go for 30 minutes and see who gets their questions answered at the end of it. And the interviewer has to be skillful enough to corner you to make you answer the question. The interviewee has to be cagey enough not to answer.
I'm out.
I can do it.
I watch these interviews, or not interviews, but I watch like the politicians and all this stuff. And I watch, the spokesmen come out and they're trying to beat around the bush. And I'm like, I would be the guy that'd be like, look, we don't know what the hell we're doing. We're doing the best we can. If you have any suggestions, just email me at goodideas@troy.com and we'll look at that. But
yeah,
I couldn't, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do the whole politicians like, well, that's a really great idea you've got there, Frederick. I'm gonna look into that and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, of course. You never get back to them. Yeah, I know. That's why I couldn't do that either. I couldn't do that. They're frustrating. That's why I can't watch that stuff on TV. I can't watch any of those interviews because once you know what they're doing, especially it's kind of like trying to watch science fiction when you know how the effects are done. Like I would imagine like Joshua trying to watch some 3D flick and he knows how the sausage is made. When you know how the sausage is made with that kind of press stuff, it's like, oh God, he's doing that thing. Oh, and then the interviewer is falling for it and they don't ask any follow-up questions. That's it's done.
Yeah. Oh, when you're watching like an alien movie, you're like, don't open the door. You saw aliens and they ran in there. Don't touch the egg. Don't touch that thing. You know it's gonna be bad.
It's like the egg's doing this. And you're like, hey, what's in there? Let's look in there. Oh, it's opening up. Oh, it's so cute. Let's get a closer look.
Kira and I always watch like these sci-fi fantasy movies, and we're like, you know what? If aliens show up, if we have superpowers, or we discover time travel, we know exactly what not to do, right? Like, don't go see yourself. Don't put it in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go back in the house if you saw a shadow in there. It's like, don't go into the basement investigating a strange sound.
Yeah, don't do it. Never, ever wear a red shirt because you'll be the first one to go.
There you go.
You don't get my reference, do you?
Yeah, that's Star Trek. Yeah,
okay. All right.
They always get killed when they beam down to the planet's surface. Come on, really? That's like nerd 101, man. Come
on. Galaxy Quest was indoctrinated into the canon of Star Trek. They've accepted it as spoof. Yeah. They've accepted it as canon of the Star Trek universe because of how they played it out. So I watched a documentary on it. It was really very cool. It was really interesting.
But yeah, definitely check out High Score if chat if you haven't seen it. High Score, very good.
It'll be good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is on your watch list? You and Kira's watch list. And you already say you and Kira. Where's Margie during all this? During your science fiction antics?
She's in the other room watching something on her iPad because she doesn't like any of the shows that we watch.
Really? Oh.
No. Kira and I right now are going through Lord of the Rings. She's reading the books and then we're watching the movies. So we finished the first half of the first book and now we got to watch the second half. But Margie really isn't interested. So
yeah, well, I gotta side with her on that one. The whole Lord of the Rings, I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into much like Doctor Who. So Doctor Who, Lord of the Rings, I appreciate. I know the characters in Lord of the Rings, Gollum, Frodo. It's I know the story, and I've watched I think the first one, but I just can't. They're so long, and there's just so like it's tedious. I can't get into it. The same thing. So Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who. What's the other one that I can't watch? There's another one that's like, oh, Harry Potter, the whole Harry Potter series. Like my daughter's into that. She loves that. She's 7, turning 7. She's discovered Harry Potter, and now she's running around the house doing Experium Plurtus. Like, go on. My daughter discovered Harry Potter and Urkel. So she's a big Urkel fan now. So
I just read audiobooks of Harry Potter, and I could not tell you. It was so much better than the movies. I loved them. They were so much more adult. And I love that genre. Oh, hey, Imp is in here. Yep. Nice to see you, buddy. Kevin's in.
Imp's in here. Oh, Imp. There he is.
Yeah, Kevin showed up. This is a test stream, my friend. We are trying to make it go. We did the image critique, and we're getting close to winding it down, I'm sure. So
maybe we'll wind down a couple hours. I think we'll be good.
Yeah. If you like the genre of Harry Potter, like that whole mystical magician magical world, which I grew up on. I love that. I watched the movies as they came out with Kira, which was really fun. And I always thought that they were a little bit immature, right? Like I always thought, okay, they're good series, but I really wasn't into them.
It's like for kids, like Goonies.
Yeah. Then Kira was going through the books, and because we share an Audible account, and I'm like, I don't have another book, right? You and I share book titles, right? You know what? I'm going to listen to Harry Potter. The first book is like, I don't know, 15 hours or 18 hours or something like that. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was so well written. It's so rich.
This is my skeptical face.
You know what? Just try one book.
Okay, I will absolutely try. I'm a big Audible fan. I'll definitely try it. But your recommendations are slightly suspect because you also said Doctor Who was best science fiction ever made.
I didn't say that. No.
Well, something close to that.
Blade Runner and The Matrix are some of the best sci-fi ever made.
The Matrix.
I do like Doctor Who. Yeah, I do like Doctor Who. So
let us pray that they will not destroy the next Matrix. Because they're making it, right? I think it's in progress. It may be done already, but please don't destroy it because any more than you already have. Because Matrix 1 was good. Matrix 2 was iffy. Where are you going with this? Matrix 3 was holy hell. This is garbage.
It wasn't garbage. You know what? I've got an affinity for mechs, so anything that has a mech in it, I'm a fan of, like Pacific Rim, and so the end scene in The Matrix, where they're fighting on the platforms with those big mechs, I'm like, that's pretty rad. Yeah. Like I'm down with that. But the rest of the movie, I wasn't a big fan of. So.
Well, the plot of The Matrix, it just got so full of itself. Like the first one was like just brute force awesome, helicopters crashing into glass buildings, and I am the one, and dodging bullets, and I know kung fu, and show me. It was that stuff, right? And then it got into the whoever that guy was that was the mainframe with his hour-long speech, as Neo was trying to figure. It was just like, come on, man, enough. Okay, a lot of words. So can we get on with the fighting and killing and kung fu? That's what it was.
Yeah. What Imp says they have the actor Charlie from It's Always from Philly. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I've never seen it. He's talking about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've never seen that series. Actually, that's another one I got to put on the list.
Pacific Rim is one of my favorite movies.
That is, I rewatched that several times. It's got just the right amount of kitsch and goofy in there, but and the ridiculous physics of skyscrapers sized.
Well, it's funny.
Next.
Margie and I were sitting down. This is like a month ago, and we're just having dinner on the couch. And Margie's like, "What do you want to watch?" She goes, Margie said she wants to watch something funny, and I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna watch Pacific Rim." And she's like, "That's not gonna be funny." It's freaking hilarious. It's so funny when they go to farm the kanji and all the parts. It's like it was funny. She admitted it was funny.
That's a bait and switch. That's a bait and switch for somebody that doesn't like science fiction, though, because I have the same problem in my household, Troy, because Nicole likes she likes like shows that expose the seedy underbelly of humanity, like people at their worst, like hoarders and drug addicts doing this and that and getting caught, and just all this stuff that's just like downer completely. And I'm on the other side. I'm like, I want to see utopian science fiction. I like dystopian science fiction, like Blade Runner and all that, but give me utopian science fiction. I like that. Show me what could happen. That's awesome. She likes that. This guy just killed his family and did this and that. I'm like, oh, please.
I have a very simple baseline rule for the shows that I watch. And that is if it can happen in the real world, I'm not interested in watching it, because that's news, right? Like, I don't want to watch Hoarders. That's like watching the news. Now, if it's an episode of Hoarders and there's alien cockroaches, like, I'm down.
Nice.
That's
what I'm talking about.
I don't want anything.
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
real world is relative, though. Like, what is it? Ready Player One. Right, you've seen Ready Player One.
Book
that? Oh yeah. I read the book first. But listen to the book first. Ready Player One is like real science fiction for me, because it's where things could go, kind of like Black Mirror, the Black Mirror series on Netflix. We're not there yet. It looks like it's where things are going, and that's why I don't really get into like the magic and sorcery and dragons and all that stuff, because that's never going to happen. I want to see stuff that might possibly, you may not live to see it, but it could have. You could see the vector of us kind of getting there.
Yeah. And there's so many good quotable lines in The Matrix. And Joshua just said, "What is real? How do you define real?"
Exactly.
I love it.
You got to work on your Morpheus, man.
I don't have a voice, but I know closer to the microphone. It gets
there. You go. Yeah, put a little bass. Yes, it got to come from down there. Yeah. Yeah. So, Matrix, best science fiction show of all time.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Blade Runner, Matrix.
I could take either one. But the Matrix was revolutionary in the way that it was shot and the storytelling ability. So I kind of see it as like Blade Runner was amazing, but it's only 2-dimensional, where the Matrix became 3-dimensional in the way that they shot things, and I think that's what really put it over the top for me. The Matrix was the only movie that I ever watched in the theaters multiple times.
Ginger bearding, the original Alien. Yeah, talk about groundbreaking. Wasn't that like groundbreaking sci-fi, like realistic sci-fi horror? That's what that was.
Yeah. But I think Aliens was better. I think that it was a better movie. I think the second one was actually better.
What was the difference? What happened? I got to rewatch that. I forgot. What happened in Aliens? They went back to the ship and idiots went in again and looked in a pod. Yes.
There's that scene. I know the Twitch community can help me, especially maybe Joshua, but there's that scene in there where they're crashed, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he's standing there and going, "What are we going to do now, man? What are we going to do?"
I know.
Yeah.
Who was that? Yeah. Game over, man. Game over. That was fast. Yeah, that was when Ash was remotely piloting the ship down to the surface after they got their asses kicked and crashed it because there was an alien inside or something. Yeah.
Little girl, she's standing there and she's like, "Oh yeah, it was Bill Paxton." Yeah, she's like
Bill Paxton. Yeah,
to come out at night, mostly at night. Yeah, they
Newt.
mostly at night.
That was Newt. I gotta go watch that again today. That was good.
That was
put that on in the background. They mostly come at night. Mostly.
There's a highlight reel of Bill Paxton, a bunch of his stuff.
Yeah. He was good in that. He was really good in that. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many. You can't pick one. You cannot pick one. Steven in the chat says theoretical physicist Lenny Susskind says the universe is a hologram. Yeah, so does Elon Musk. He says we're living in not a hologram, but a simulation, which I kind of believe that. Why not?
You know, maybe the Matrix, maybe the movie The Matrix was a prelude to all of that. You know, we're just copper tops.
Well, you know the book series I turned you on to. What was that one? The Game is Life.
Game is Life.
Chat. Yeah. If you haven't read the book or listened to the book, it's a book series called The Game is Life. And the premise is there's two. I'm going to tell you about. The other one is We Are Bob. But the premise of The Game is Life is that we are living in a simulation. Earth itself is a simulation of another world, and they use this simulation to train their young. So, and there's different time scales. So if you get born into this world, and you're basically entering VR. You don't even know it, but you enter this VR sort of world simulation that only lasts a couple of weeks, but a couple of weeks in there is a lifetime. And basically you go in, you get educated or whatever, then you come out as with your whole lifetime of experience because you came to this planet and lived in the simulation. But the cool thing is they explore all kinds of concepts in there, like religion and and they tie it all into science fiction. Like I say, people that are super rich, like the Steve Jobs and the Elon Musks and the Kardashians or whatever, they have kind of figured out how to hack the system, and they know it's a simulation. So they figured out how to hack it, and that's why they're super successful. The other cool, I think about this almost daily. The other cool thing is we're living in a simulation. If you think this is a simulation or like a game, there's the concept of non-player characters in the game. So characters that are just there as filler, like people in traffic around you aren't really real. They're just NPCs that are there to either add stress to your life or make your life easier somehow. So it's so cool. It's such a good premise. I want to see that as a movie. That would be a good movie.
It would be a good movie. Yeah. So with the Bobaverse, I like the Bobaverse a lot.
Yeah. So tell us about the Bobaverse. Yeah, that one was another like brain scratcher.
You know, it's God, how to start without revealing too much of it. But basically, the world is coming to an end, and Bob becomes digitized. And it's about his journey through his life and time as a digital entity. I don't want to ruin anything. I mean, it's really quite amazing. He replicates himself. Yeah. He tries to help save the rest of humanity and stuff. It's quite good. And I pre-ordered what's the date today? Oh, it comes out in like 3 days. I pre-ordered the 4th book, so I'm very excited.
Oh, I didn't even know the best was. Yeah, it's interesting. The Bobaverse series, yeah, you're right. It's you got to go through it in order to have it unfold, because it's like, holy crap, this is awesome. One of the cool concepts they explore in that book is time, right? And how, because the universe is so vast, as carbon-based bags of water and meat, we can't really get any place, without, some sort of undiscovered technology. But as an AI, you could, right? Because you point yourself at a star system and turn yourself off and set the timer to wake yourself up, when you arrive. And for you, no time has passed. You just like blink your eye and you're at that star system. So those kinds of things, like little really smart things. And like they explore the concept of the soul, because like in the main character in the book, like Troy said, replicates himself. But finds that each of the replicated copies have different personalities for some reason. and they all have the same knowledge because they're digital copies, but for some reason they are different and they have different likes, and it's crazy. It's a cool book. It is a really cool book.
It's really deep. Yeah, it's really good. So
yeah. Thus is the nerd in all of us.
Very cool.
But that's cool. I mean, I didn't know they were coming out with another one. I have to go download that and find. I think all my listening time is going to be taken up streaming on Twitch though, because I'm told it's like 2 to 3 hours or go home, right? So it's not like YouTube where it's like I'm gonna upload a 20-minute video or a 15-minute video because the attention spans on YouTube are so short. Twitch is the exact opposite. You gotta it's not that you gotta do it. It's more fun. You just get in there and hang out.
Yeah, it's good.
So
super good.
Yep. Well, cool. So what do you say we start wrapping this one up, folks?
Yes. Should we end this, Joshua? Should we end this one with a raid on Shoe?
Ooh, how do I do that? Oh, that means I gotta pull up Twitch in another display.
No. In the chat, if I'm saying this right, Joshua will tell me, is that you would type isn't it = raid and then space and then @shoe? Is that how you would do it? Oh yeah, type oh, it's /. Yeah, Imp just typed it in there.
Okay, perfect. I have to go to my channel because I don't think you can do it from within StreamYard. I think you have to do it on Twitch proper.
Oh yeah, I can. Oh, I can't do it. I'm not a mod, so
yeah, and I got to get all that set up. Okay, so I would go / let's see, / and where am I sending people to?
To Shoe, to 5HOE. He's on right now. He's streaming right now.
So 5HOE. Okay, so 5HOE. What's slow duration?
No, it's / okay,
raid channel,
and then the @ and then type his username.
So how does it work? Does that mean if I do that, as soon as I hit return, everyone gets funneled over there, or does that mean as soon as I do that, when I type that and then I end the stream, people will be redirected over there?
No, as soon as you enter that, we'll all end up in his stream, and then we all type raid,
and then I end.
But you'll get a countdown. Yeah, you get a countdown.
Oh, you do?
Now button. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do it. So no space. So / 5HOE. Right. That's it. Does it have to have an @ symbol or anything?
/ raid.
Oh, raid. Oops.
@ the @ 5HOE.
Okay. All right. I got it. I'm gonna try it.
Do it.
I'm afraid. This is my first raid, man. I'm afraid.
It's
game over, man. Game over. Stream over, man. All right. Here we go, folks. I'm going to try to raid Shoe's stream. This will be my first raid. Here we go. Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think this channel is intended for mature audiences. Used. Okay, is it working? Okay, there it goes. Right now.
Yeah. There it goes. You and I are still on StreamYard, so. Yep. You're
there you go. I'm watching Shoe. She was like, what the hell? All right. That's cool. All right. So now I'm going to end our broadcast. So I'll see you. Are you going to go into Shoe's stream?
Oh, yeah. I'm sitting there now.
Okay. All right. I'm going to end this one. Good job, man. This is fun. Now I feel like I want to get my channel dialed in a little better.
Yeah. Who's calling me? Yeah. We'll do some chats. We'll chat about some of this stuff later and get it all dialed in. Yeah, I've got some ideas for you.
Good. All right. No, I'm around later if you want to chat.
Okay. I'll send you a text.
All right, man. Thanks for doing this. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care.
Bye.